My name is Nellie, and this is a podcast about knitting and crafting in general, and kind of whatever I want it to be about because it's my podcast. Yeah. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as KitchenSix, and I think that's all of the intro stuff. This is podcast number 24. Oh, and if you're back again, I know it's been a while. I really appreciate you sticking with me. Sorry I'm so intermittent. It's okay. We'll all survive, yeah? Okay, I thought so. And then if you are somebody who's new and just joining me for the first time, great. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. I hope you enjoy it. I have one of the calmer podcasts, but sometimes not. We'll see. Today, it's probably going to be a little bit of a giggle fest because today I have a peanut gallery. Like I said, today I have a peanut gallery. That is my husband, Dean. Here, I'll show you. That's my husband, Dean. He's amazing. I adore him. He's very supportive of all things yarny. In fact, there's stuff about him today. So maybe it's good that he's sitting there distracting me. He swears that his job in life is to make me laugh. So this should be interesting. I'm already giggling. Okay, so on to yarny things. There's a bunch of life stuff, and I will totally cover all of it because, as you see, I'm in a new location with an entirely different couch. That's the thing. We'll cover it in life stuff, which is after all of the knitting content, so that the people who don't give any craps about what's going on in my life don't have to listen to it. So, and on that note, on with the knitting content. So, I'm kind of changing up my sections, my naming of my sections. This section used to be called That Just Happened Boom, but I'm gonna go with Standing in the Hall of Fame, because we're calling it the Hall of Fame. Because maybe I'm not going to be world famous, but I'm kind of like partially like, people on YouTube know me. Well, you people on YouTube. What am I saying? You people.
What do you mean, you people?
You, my people, know me on YouTube, right? That means I'm famous, right? Standing in the Hall of Fame. But look at this. This is my finished object. I actually have more than one, but I'm going to have to insert a picture later about it. I'll tell in a minute. This is the Cladonia shawl by Kristen Kapoor. And I'll put the details up here so that you can see them, because I'm terrible at saying stuff. And it is a lace border shawl with a looped picot bind off. I have to tell you, I hadn't done a picot bind off before, and certainly I hadn't done a looped picot bind off. This bind off, let me try not to dip it in my coffee. This bind off is, it makes these great loops, but it's like you do a triple picot and then join. It was a lot of work. But it looks really cool. So when my peanut gallery and I pinned it out, we just pinned out each loop so that it looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at how beautiful that is. Anyway, so the yarns are, there's two different companies. One is, the blue one is I Can't Even by Artistic Lily, who is Ellie. And I'll put the details here. And I have just a teeny little bit of that left. My peanut gallery just reminded me it's over there. So this is the blue. And if you can see, it has these hints of yellows and pinks and oranges in there. So when I found this one, which is Little Fish Yarns, or Little Fish Stitches, I don't know. She has a podcast, look her up. I think it's called Starburst. I've always called it Strawberry Lemonade. But when I found it, this is what I thought of immediately, was this combo right here. And oh my gosh, do you see how perfectly beautiful? Yeah. So that's what I saw in my head. This is what I was hoping for. And oh, it's so gorgeous, you guys. Just look at it. It blends so nicely. Like this section right here is just really, really nice. Isn't that great? It's so pretty. Anyway, so I started knitting this for my birthday, for myself. And I got to right about here and realized it wasn't for me. It's not for me. It's for my sister. But I kept telling myself that it was for me until I got to here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I stopped working on it for like a month and a half and didn't do the lace border until like the last 2 weeks, I think.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. And I finally finished it, and then I put it on and was like, it's for me, it's mine.
Trying desperately to convince yourself.
It didn't work. Yeah, so it's going to go to my sister in the mail this week because it will be perfect for her. It has wanted to be hers the whole time, and I really just make things apparently for other people. I'm hoping one day I'll find something that's actually supposed to be mine. So far I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, except for like one hat and a cow that got washed badly. Anyway, so that is the Cladonia, and it is gorgeous and lovely, and I wish it was mine. It's not mine. It's okay. It will look amazing on my sister.
It looks really good on you as well.
I know, thank you. I appreciate you. He thinks everything looks good on me. Correct. I think it looks great on me too. I think it will look better on my sister. It will definitely be happier on my sister because it complains every time it's on me. Okay, that's weird to say, but I'm just going to let that be. Yeah, so that's what I finished. Oh, and then there was also a shawl for my grandma that I made for our last get-together before I moved away, because we moved. That's the whole thing. Again, life stuff. Anyway, so I gave it to her at our last get-together, which was just before or just after the 4th of July. And then, so I have a picture of me wearing it. I'll put that in here. Oh, it was the Sencha shawl with the stripes. So the yarn, the teal is Malabrigo fingering, whatever that, I know it's not Rios, but it's the other one. But it's Malabrigo. I don't know the colorway. I have the tag somewhere packed with all of my yarny things, which is where most of my yarn is. And then the purpley bluey color is the first iteration of Artistic Lilies I Can't Even, before she fixed it and made it this amazingness. It was still amazing, don't get me wrong. They were both amazing, and I bought both because I liked them both. So I think this is a much clearer interpretation, whereas the other one was much more blended. Yeah. But still beautiful, and it went really, really nicely with that teal. So I knit that up for my grandma, and yeah, she really likes it. I get comments from my family about it all. Grandma really likes the shawl you made her. Are we going to get shawls? Yeah, so now they're all going to be stupid jealous because now Shannon's getting one. So it's like a battle over who gets Nellie's next knitting. Nellie's next knitting at noon. I don't know what I'm doing.
We should start calling it Game of Shawls.
Game of Shawls, yeah, right. Well, because even the guys want them. Like, it's not just the girls. Like, Victor and Chef want them too. So
they're great for motorcycling. When you're riding in cold weather, especially in Washington State, you want to have something that keeps that warmth in, but also lets the air breathe at the same time, so you're not feeling like you're wrapped in just a big ball of wool. And something like this is perfect for it.
So a big ball of wool is perfect for that?
No, there's something nice and airy and flowy and thermal. And
yeah, the shawls. Or you have a...
So she made me a neck gaiter many moons ago.
You should go get that. I'll show it. Do you know where it is?
I will have to look that up. But yeah, she was that a crochet?
Yeah, it was crocheted. It was single, wasn't I think it was double crocheted with fingering yarn. Yeah, it's just like a tube. It tapers at the top,
but it was the perfect gear. So it kept everything warm here, which is, I mean, that's the only place that's
not
really
covered.
Really uncovered while you're riding. But it kept the warmth in, but let it breathe, so I didn't feel like I had to rip it off while I was riding. So yeah, it's still one of my favorite pieces of gear.
So yeah, people are fighting over the shawls, and I actually have to make I'm making a design for a motorcycle gaiter. I think I've mentioned that before. I haven't had a chance for several months to work on that because thing. So after the shawl for my grandma, that's all of the finished objects. I mean, I think there was more things that I made, like skirts and stuff for sewing, but again, I would have to go find the thing and remember all the things, and yeah. So we're just gonna go with the knitting. It's fine. Whatever. Alright, so for doing it well, we have well, we can start with the thing that I'm not doing well. I know. We're all shocked, right? So shocked that Nellie's doing something poorly again. Not that I do everything poorly. I just, sometimes I get a little excited and don't read all of the instructions. Or, get really stressed out and knit really, really tightly, which is what happened here. So I'm making the Kingfisher tea, which is this right here. There you go. It is by Kelly O. And it is just like a really classic tea top with some lace detailing up the front. It's a great design. And I'm doing it in a cotton bamboo in this color. That's a really good color. It is bamboo pop, I think. Yeah. And it's just a really, really pretty yarn. Oh, I have a tag in here somewhere. I also have a massively tangled, horrifying situation here. Hold on. So, bamboo pop, and it's 50% cotton, 50% bamboo, and I have like a bunch of balls of that because I didn't know what I wanted to make, but I knew it was supposed to be a sweater. So I did a gauge swatch, and I was really, really proud of my gauge swatch because I did it in the round, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing great. And those are my little markers to say what my gauge swatch was in. Gauge swatch, yeah. So, and then I washed it, and then I measured it, and I was like, great, my gauge is great. I was wrong. My gauge was off on the swatch the entire time. Not only was it off on the swatch the entire time, I also tightened up while I was knitting it. Because I went from knitting with these teeny tiny little needles to knitting with still fairly tiny needles, because the ribbing you knit on a 1, which you guys are sock knitters know, you know that a 1 is ridiculous to knit a sweater on, right? But I did like 2, almost 3 inches of ribbing, and I think the gauge in the ribbing is perfect. However, when I started doing the knitting for the rest of it, I tightened up a lot, and I was getting like the amount of stitches that for 4 inches that I was getting it for 3 inches, so I had lost a whole lot of, like, it was gonna be tiny. So yeah, so I ripped that out, and that's what this ball is, because it was all scraggly. So I wound it up, or I put it on the Swift, and then I got it wet, and I put it back on the Swift to dry. And yeah, so, because I didn't want it to be like spaghetti, because you know how it gets all spaghetti like, ew, not fun. And then, so now I have to do another gauge swatch and try again. But I was like halfway up the front of the sweater, like I thought I was looking at it going, wow, I'm almost done with the, wait a minute, wait just a dang minute. And that's when I measured the gauge and went, oh, yeah, that's not good at all. Okay, so, yeah, that's what I'm doing for that. And maybe I'm not doing so well on that, but at least I recognized before I knit the entire stupid thing that there was a problem, and I managed to fix it, and I just, and I'm not afraid of just ripping my knitting back anymore and just going to, it's fine. I just wanted to fit. She was so worried about it fitting. That's for my husband, my peanut gallery's grandmother. She's a really sweet woman. She's like 87.
Yes, and tiny.
And she's really little. And she's really, 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 really worried about her shape. Isn't he pretty? She's really, really worried about her shape because she's getting that older person shape where they're kind of hunched and, weirdly shaped. I don't know. Have you ever seen like an old person that doesn't do a whole lot? They get like this hunch shape. It's weird.
Well, she's had some knee and hip surgeries, so
she has. She's had some issues.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on.
But like in general, like the older people get, the more hunched and bowed they seem. It just like time squishes them or something. I don't know. Which is a horrible thing for time to do. Anyway, so that is the Kingfisher sweater, and it's for my husband's grandmother. She is gonna love it. She picked out the pattern. I'm just knitting it. I just hope that I can do it better instead of badly. So for more doing it well. So the next thing I'm knitting is actually for that girl in Portland. I know, the one who likes purple. Guess what color it is? I know, it's plummy purple. Isn't it pretty? Are you trying to hold it up for me?
No, I was going to hold it up for you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So I'm actually knitting a sweater for the girl. So this is actually the Surfside. It's the Surfside sweater. It is by Georgie Nicholson. I think she's Australian or possibly New Zealander. But yeah, so I'm knitting it out of Red Heart Chic Sheep, which is wool, but it's cheap wool. You can get it at Joann's or Michael's or just about any basic craft store, I'm thinking. I think I got some of it off Amazon, actually. So, but it's a really nice color. It's really, really soft. It is superwash, and it's absolutely affordable, and it's going to make a really, really nice sweater. So I am past the neckline, and I've joined, or getting ready to split for the sleeves. I think I have maybe 4 more rows before I split for the sleeves. I'm into my second ball of yarn, which I had to roll into a cake because I pulled from the wrong end of the... I know. But these things always confuse me. I'm flinging stuff, apparently. Luckily, I have this disembodied hand over here that's willing to pick stuff up. Okay, so my own personal entertainment for the day, and yours as well today too. So, I forgot where I was. You totally distracted me. Oh, right. So I'm into, this is the second ball, which I screwed up so badly that I had to wind it into a cake, because like I'm supposed to just dig in there for the yarn, and so like if I dig in there and I come up with a string, I think that's what I'm supposed to start with, and apparently it wasn't. I don't know how I've screwed up all the time. This is why I like hanks of yarn, because I can wind it into a kink and I always know where it's supposed to go. Yeah. But so this is, oh, the color, it's called Regal. That's the color of this, and it is so plummy purple. Oh gosh, look how pretty it is, you guys. It's so pretty. Anyway, so I'm knitting that, and it's going really quickly because, you know, it's worsted and it's on 8s, so yeah, and I have plenty of yarn for it, so I'm really excited about how that's going. This is the swatch. The swatch came out perfect. I triple checked because I was a little gun shy about swatching. Because I screwed it up so badly with the Kingfisher. I just thought that maybe I should double and triple check. But, so, we're going to actually use all of my swatches to make a blanket at some point. But, yeah. So, that's that one. What else? Let me look at my notes. All right. Okay. So, again, that's called the Surfside, and it's by Georgie Nicholson. I'll put that right here for you, because I know you guys want to see what it is. It's just it's a kid's sweatshirt type pattern. I am all tangled up. I have no idea what I'm doing. Here, let me hand this to the help. Here you go, help. I get constant. Why is this? Oh, I'm gonna change the cord on that one. That's because I want to try it on my daughter to make sure it's gonna fit the girl in Portland. So I was gonna put it on a bigger cord. I remember now. All right. What am I doing? Oh yes. So the next thing that I'm knitting is actually. So the next 3 sections are, they're supposed to be doing it well, and then there's supposed to be, hey, good looking, what you got cooking, and then there's supposed to be the shiny pretty things, which I don't have a song for, but I'm looking for one. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments section or on Ravelry, whichever is more convenient for you. Either way, what? I know you're trying to be really silent, but you keep making, like, you want my attention. What?
Maybe Rihanna's Shine Bright Like a Diamond.
Maybe.
Think about it.
Maybe Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Look at him. He's so clever.
I can't take credit for that one. That was Ashley's idea.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh. The girl did it?
Yeah, we talked to her I chatted about it last night on our way back home. And that was the first one that came to her mind.
He picks up our daughter almost every night for the last 2 months.
Daughter's been working stage crew, so she's been going to school early, and then doing like 16-hour days. Right, she'll go to school, and she'll have a break where she does homework and maybe have something to eat, and then she works several hours on stage crew, helping auditions. Like they're.
We never see her.
She's hard worker.
She's hardworking. But it's so, yeah. He gets to talk to her in the car, and then I get like 5 minutes a day with her, and we never see her anymore. She's doing her thing. Anyway, back to the knitting content. Where was I? Oh, yes. So, I've mentioned before that my sister and her partner are getting married in the new year, in the coming year. So I wanted to knit wedding shawls for them. They don't know that I'm knitting them wedding shawls, but I'm knitting them wedding shawls. I'm going to send them to them before their wedding. They don't have to wear them for their wedding, but they're in their wedding colors, so yeah. Anyway, so shiny pretty things and future knits and what I'm doing right now are all kind of intertwined, so I'll try to do it in that order, because most of the shiny pretty things I ordered because I was getting yarn for the shawls for my sister for her wedding, but I'm working on one, and then there's plans for more. Anyway, so the first one that I'm going to make is called the Tracy, and it's by Joji Locatelli. I almost screwed that up badly. But so I saw this, and I was actually going to knit the Jody as well, and I was going to give them Jody and Tracy shawls for their wedding. Except that I was looking at the Jody shawl, and it's pretty. It's really pretty, but it's not like showy or like super lacy. Like this has a really good block of mesh lace. It's a really simple lace, but it's still lace. And I really, really think that my future sister-in-law is going to love the simpleness of this. So I'm knitting this one for her. But for my sister, I wanted something a little more. So I picked something else out and I'll show you in a bit. But so knitting the Tracy for Amber, and their colors are navy and sage and blush and burgundy and cream, like a really light cream. Obviously I'm not going to be able to get like the perfect thing, but I'm trying. So I found these on Knit Picks. So this is called Klamath Falls, and this one I don't remember the name of. I'm not sure. But they're merino with a little bit of nylon, I think. And then this is the swatch for the thing. I wanted to make sure the colors went well together, and I think they do. So in this, most of the mesh is going to be the sagey color, and most of the other stuff is going to be the Klamath Falls color, which is like a really deep, I don't know if you can, there, maybe you can see it. It's like a deep, deep navy, kind of a denim-y indigo hue to it. But it's really, really pretty. So I am actually quite a good way into the shawl. Not really far away, but, you know, a good bit. I got a beard. It's like a shawl beard, right? But so I have both of the balls in here. I'm just using my little key and yarn ball bag. But yeah, so those are gonna be, trying to get just the right lighting so you guys can really, this really just wants to be deep, deep, deep colors of blue. There, that's a good one. So yeah, and they're nice and cozy and soft, and I think it's gonna be really, really nice. What?
No,
Do you have a question?
No, I was just saying, it looks like that sage really, like when it's together is when it pulls that darker color
That saginess out of it. It looks really minty if you look at it without it, but with the blue, it looks really sagey.
And then when this is by itself, it kind of looks really just dark.
Black.
And
it looks black.
Like it's
but when
waiting
you put
for
it with
something.
the green, it pulls the blue out. Yeah. I think you're right.
So
I
yeah,
think you're
perfect colors together.
Yeah, I like it. I think she'll like it too, more than anything.
Oh,
I think
love it.
Amber will love it. And it's not super, she's not really super feminine. She likes feminine things, but not like overly feminine things. So she
has more of a classic,
she's very
simple,
classic, and she's very simple.
Style. It works really good for her.
I think it will be perfect for her. She's not very showy, so you know, having something understated for her, I think, is really, really important. She's I think she's wearing a suit, like a pantsuit. Like a really pretty, nice fitted, like classy looking feminine pantsuit.
Right.
So I think that shawl will go really nicely with that. That was my whole hope, was something that will accent that and make her look just gorgeous. She's such a beautiful, beautiful woman. So I'm hoping to accent her beauty with that. So, so the next section is, you know, what is it? What you got cooking? What you got cooking? All right, so what I have cooking is the next shawl for the wedding shawls. And I had wanted to do a Jody, but instead I'm going to screw this name up so bad. So it's a shawl by Caitlin Hunter, and it's called the Terrell Dago. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. I love the artwork on this, is really nice. I love this drawing of it. Right? Isn't it pretty? So, and the reason I picked this is because it has this giant lace section. It's got stripes, which will bring into play the third color, and then it's got this teeny bit of color work on this side. So it'll have stripes and a shape that will match the Tracy, that will match Amber's Tracy, Amber's shawl. So it'll be the same, but it'll be different. It'll be a little bit showier with the lace, And it's 3 colors, which will incorporate the other 3 colors from their wedding. So, and those 3 colors, and it took me a minute to find the colors that I wanted, are these colors. Oh my gosh. So we've got this cream up here, which is actually alpaca, and it's lovely and soft. And then we have this blush, which is actually, it's Nitpicks Capretta. So it's 80% superwash, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And then this is a merino and nylon. And they are fabulous, you guys. It's going to be such a pretty shawl. So I'm going to do the lace in this red, the lace and probably that little bit of color work, and then I'm going to stripe these 2. I have another ball of this so that I have enough, I think. Yeah, because they're 50-gram balls. And then pretty sure that's enough. Yeah. No, I might need to order another one of that. We'll see. But yeah, so that's going to be the Terrell Dago. And I'm actually going to start that as soon as I finish the Surfside sweater for the girl in Portland. Because I'm hoping to get that to her this winter. And I have till March for the shawls. So I'm not super stressed about getting them done right away. And I started with plenty of time. I ordered the yarn with plenty of time. Because look at me being all prepared. I know. It's like it's an important event for somebody or something. And now I thought that was thin. But I realize that now that it's just 50 grams and I'm going to need another one. Probably. Unless I can find something in a local yarn shop. Which was kind of a plan for today.
Still a plan.
Yes. He's so yarn supportive. I'm so happy with him. So the next thing that is on my what you got cooking list is so I watch podcasts. I know, it's shocking. A podcaster watch other podcasts. Why do you think I started podcasting in the first place? Anyway, so my husband occasionally watches them with me, and he has seen some of y'all's Cozy Memories blanket. So now I have to knit a Cozy Memories blanket. He's mentioned it more than once. So I finally...
Twice.
More than once. It's more than twice, too, I think. Finally printed out Kemper Ray's Coziest Memory Blanket pattern, which I believe is a free pattern on Ravelry, which I love her for. So Junk Yarn Designs, and it calls for a size 2 needle, which is one of my new shiny things, and a bunch of minis, which, like, I have this one, and I have a couple of other stock minis. I think I have maybe 8 total. Possibly. Actually, there's likely more than that. I've knit quite a few things recently.
Probably have quite a bit of yarn shrapnel upstairs.
Well, it's fingering weight.
Oh, got it.
I mean, I could do it in DK weight, but I don't think I have even close to anything. Yeah, I'll just use those to knit the swatches together. Anyway, so because I don't really have a whole lot of yarn scraps to do that with, and we needed a little bit of more yarn, we decided, or I asked for, and he decided to grant a wish for Row 1 yarns to come for a few months. So every month I get a little baggie of different yarns. I'm so excited, you guys. Like, I never really had a use for minis until now. So now I get to have the mini joy that everybody else has had so far. And I'm super excited. So my first package came... Oh, I didn't take my inhaler this morning. That's why. My first package came, and it's amazing. So it comes with a little thing that has a stitch marker and a candy in it, which I already opened, and I fed the candy to my peanut gallery. And And it came with a little stitch marker, little sheep.
Came with Farkle.
Farkle?
Yeah. So for motorcyclists, Farkle are the little things you add to your bike to make it your personal thing. So when you get like a phone mount or an extra light, or
there's a word for that.
If you get a tank bag, and if you get a bag for your tank bag, like all those little things.
Why would you get a bag for your tank bag?
To put more stuff.
Oh, it's like getting a bag for your yarn bags.
Yes. Exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly like that. Totally not like it at all, but totally the same. So it came with Farkle. We've all learned a new term today. So there's a paper in here that has the studio, and it is Dye Lots Studio. We're so punny as knitters. And then it has a list of like all the yarns that are in the thing. Which I'm going to show them all to you.
So it's interesting. So if you've ever been around the home brewing scene, you know that the beers are named really, really interestingly, especially the IPAs. And I kind of get that same feel from knitters when they name the color of the yarn.
Some of them. Some of them do them really. So this is row 1 yarns. And I got 10 minis, and they're from Dye Lots Studio. There's their logo. And I'm going to go through them with you here because I'm super excited about my first bag of minis ever. So this is called Classic Calm. And it's like this green and taupe, and it's really interesting. It's soothing. My husband calls it Classic Clam because apparently he's dyslexic. That's okay. I still love him. And then there's You Make Me Blush, which is so pretty.
Not even the slightest bit embarrassed either.
This one's called Sunshine and Honey, which I think is lovely. I love that little bit of pink in there with the yellows and the browns and the creams. This one is Lavender Fields. I adore this one. I want lots of things knit out of this.
Is it Lavender Fields Forever?
Lavender Fields Forever.
So you have to sing it.
No, you have to.
Lavender Fields Forever.
He has to sing it.
Let me knit you down. Sorry.
Okay, so this one's called Asparagus. And my husband doesn't think that asparagus should have other colors besides green in it, but that's okay.
It's kind of rusty asparagus, or asparagus with some dirt on it.
Dirty asparagus.
Dirty asparagus.
Dirty asparagus.
I mean that in the best possible way.
Of course. This one's called Adore Me. It's such a lovely pink. It is so soft and pretty. I'm trying to get... And there's just like hints of coral in there too, which are really, really nice. This one is called Rustic Rainbow. My husband says it's not a rainbow. It should just be called Rustic Purple. But okay. I think it's pretty. Purple is one of my favorite colors on the planet. So is orange, and that has both. So. Alright, this one is called Bandana. It's got whites and reds, some pinks and oranges. And I really like her use of orange in so much. I really like orange. It gets a bad rap sometimes. My mom doesn't like orange. But I love orange. This I am in love with. It's called Rose Quartz. And it looks just... I don't know. I can't really get the right... It's blowing out and I don't want it to... There. That's probably the best you're going to get it. It's a little grayer, slightly grayer than it looks right there. But yeah. Oh, so pretty. Rose quartz. And this one is called I See You, and it's spelled S-E-A, like the ocean, like the water. Look at how pretty. So many pretty greens and blues in there. Such a lovely color. Such a lovely color. So that is my first Row One Yarns thing, and those are all for my Cozy Memories blanket. I mean, I'm going to go through and pick out all of the yarns that I have that will work in it as well, because I know that there's some Seahawks yarn, and there's some really cute sock yarns, and my husband, who has escaped, I know, maybe you heard him, maybe you didn't, my husband really, really likes the idea just of the whole mishmash of yarns for that blanket. So, but I can at least start on it because I have minis now, and yeah. So I'm super excited about that. And that gives me something to do that's knitting related, even on days when I'm not up to knitting. So I can just wind up minis from my stash of things that, because I keep all of the bits and bobs and ends, and because I knew that eventually I would use them for something, because I've seen all of the scrap projects and all of the stuff, so I was always gonna do that. They're not all nicely wound up and put in little balls like they should be, really. So I can do that on days when I don't feel good, because that's easy peasy. So when I made the order for the yarn for my sister and her fiance's shawls for the wedding, I the first time, because I made 2 different orders, the first time I bought different yarn and a slightly different color and in different weights. I was gonna just do something entirely different, but the colors weren't exactly what I wanted. They're still pretty colors, don't get me wrong, but they're just not what I wanted. So I have this, which is lovely. It's a baby alpaca, and it's kind of this like really, 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 really light plum. It looks pink, but it's really, truly a purple. It's called Cherry Blossom, the color, and it's really pretty and soft. And then this is more of an oatmeal color, which would have worked, but again, I was going to be mixing weights, and they just didn't have the colors that I wanted in the yarns that I wanted on the day that I ordered the first time for the shawls. And that's, when I got the right yarns for Amber's shawl, but I got make do yarns for my sister's shawl. And then literally like a week later, I looked on the website again and found the yarn that I wanted for my sister's shawl. So now I have some extra, but they're really pretty. They look really nice together, and I think that my mom will like them in something. Maybe a cowl, like a colorwork cowl with flowers on it. That actually is a really good idea. Anyway, so there's those. And then I also got, the balls are falling apart for some reason. I also got some charcoal gray, like it's not showing up as heather there. Oh, there you go. Charcoal gray merino MCN, merino cashmere nylon, and it's just got 10% of cashmere and 10% of nylon, 80% superwash. But I have in mind a lace-backed, base panel back cardigan for my mother-in-law. And I've been trying to find the right yarn for it. And what I originally had was just a pure cashmere. And I can't get it to a fabric that I like. So I ordered this instead. And I'm probably just going to make that cashmere into a blanket for her, like a cozy on the couch blanket. God, what a luxury, right? But so I got enough of this for a sweater. And then we were looking for my cake or ball winder when I was getting ready to knit the shawl for my sister's fiance. And we couldn't find it. It disappeared. I don't know where it is. I also couldn't find my microphone. Again, it disappeared. It's probably the same place as my winder. Both of which I swear I saw at one point recently, but it's gone. And my house is not a disaster, so I don't know. So we got me a Stanwood Needlecraft ball winder. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is seriously the best thing on the planet. It's so smooth. It made winding so much, like I had like just like a cheapy, like, oh, so good. This is so good. It makes me so happy. And it makes the prettiest cakes.
So I gotta say, the ball winder, her old one, I tried a couple times and it was like, okay, it does what it needs to do. But when we got this one, she hooked it up and gave it a spin and said, honey, you have to come try this. All right, so I'm like, oh, I kind of rolled my eyes and I walked over and I tried it and I was like the difference, like
the difference was amazing.
It looks almost this like it's plastic. It has parts that look identical to the other one, but the quality is
no, it's a much like,
echelons higher,
and it wasn't that much more expensive. I think the other one I got with a half price coupon at Michael's for $15. With the coupon, it was $15, so it was like $30. I think we paid like $35 for this. Yeah, $37.95. So $40. So $10 more got me a much better quality one. So if you're waffling, like if you can get the other one with the coupon, it totally works. Absolutely. If you're gonna spend $30, spend the extra $10 and get this one. It's a Stanwood. It's just the Stanwood.
Stanwood Needlecraft. If you're looking on Amazon, it's Stanwood Needlecraft YBW-A hand-operated yarn ball winder 4 ounce.
Yeah. So the 4 ounce Stanwood one. That's what this is, and it's if you're gonna spend $30, spend the extra $10 and get this one. It's so much nicer. I mean, the right thing to do, I honestly like, is save up and get the really, really nice wood one that doesn't pollute the environment. But we can't all afford that, and that's cool. That's fine. If what you can afford is the one from Joann's that you can get with the 50% off coupon, do that. It will change your life. Having a winder is amazing. But at the same time, if you want a winder and you want a good one, I would definitely go for this one. It works so nicely, and it makes winding yarn from Hanks so much less of a hassle.
It almost makes it enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it does. It absolutely did, because it was always a struggle. I was always struggling with the other one. It worked. It just was a struggle, and it was frustrating. And this is not frustrating. It's smooth and easy, and it winds beautifully, and the cakes look pretty, and it's a whole thing. So yeah, so that's one of my shiny new pretty things. And then my other shiny new pretty thing is I got a new microphone because, again, so this is the microphone that my husband brought home for me yesterday when I tried to podcast and did not, because I could not find my microphone. So this is called the Snowball. It's awesome. It's giant. Like, it's giant. Let me see if I can lift it up and show you. It's giant. I know, it's as big as my head. Not really. It just looks that way because of angles.
The microphone is as big as a softball.
Yeah.
It's by Blue is the company that makes those.
It comes with this really sturdy like tripod stand, and it telescopes, so it can go up or down about 2 or 3 inches. And it's not a lot. It's a little bit, but you can hook it up to your computer. You can hook it up to your laptop or your Mac. Or you can just plug it into your iPad or phone using a adapter.
So it's the microphone by itself is a USB connector, or your standard USB connector. So it's designed for laptop use, but for use in an iPad or something with a lightning connector. There's an adapter you can get that works. It's a plug and play, like literally plug it in and it defaults straight to that microphone and seems to work really, really well. The other setting is at default setting with there's a physical switch on the back. Will pick up kind of the front fan, and if you turn it from 2 to 3, it starts picking up additional area. It focuses the microphone, and then it opens up the microphone if you want to do like a conference kind of thing, or if you want to add more people to.
Like if you're doing an interview.
Yeah. But yeah, it works really well. Highly recommend.
Better that he tell you about it because he did the research and he picked it up. He is always looking for cool stuff for my podcast for me. Because he's awesome. I've told you how awesome he is. Now you guys can see how awesome he is.
I truly believe happy wife, happy life.
That goes both ways though. Happy husband, happy life. It
just doesn't rhyme.
That was all of the knitting content. Is that really all of the knitting content? That was really all of the knitting content. So, that's all of the knitting content. That's what I got for you guys. Oh, my husband wants me to tell you about the things behind me, and I will. But as for now, that is all of the knitting content. That is all of the knitting and podcast stuff yeah. The rest of this is just chatter. I'm going to tell you about some cool beach towels I got, my new Christmas tree, which is really cute, and why I'm on a different couch with new beach towels, because that's a whole thing. So if you are just here for the knitting content, I am super grateful that you were here. I hope that you got something that you enjoyed out of this, and I really, really wish you the best, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for joining us, and have a great whatever it is that you're having, evening, morning, weekend, life, week, whatever. And happy knitting. I really hope that you get joy and accomplishment from your knitting. So bye. For the rest of you that are sticking around, hi! Sorry, yeah.
Like, what would you call, you can't call it a spoiler alert because you're not really spoiling anything.
No, but some people don't want to watch the lifey stuff. Some people don't want to hear about my life and my crazy and...
That's silly.
There's days when I don't feel like listening to everything. Like,
okay, that's fair.
I don't put time hacks in, but I warn people before I go into the craziness of my life.
Like,
so...
And... Cut.
Right, yeah. So, we are in a new location, the both of us. I'll join you for this. We'll do this together. So, last year, I had plans. We had our exchange student, we had a life going on, and I went to the Fiber Festival in Madrona, which was great. I'll probably do a whole podcast about that, and the one I went to in May as well, because I know you guys missed those.
And we lived in a place where we knew where everything we owned was.
Yeah, we lived in a place. So Hawaii was always the plan. Hawaii was a plan, and it's been a plan since 2011. We've been working at pulling strings and laying groundwork to come here and for my husband's job for 8 years now.
Give or take, yeah.
While I was at the Maryland Sheep and Wool in May, which was amazing, my husband got word that we were definitely going to go, but we would have to do it as soon as possible. Which meant that when I got back and he told me that we had to do it as soon as possible, that meant that our report date, which was supposed to be sometime after December, or in December or later of this year, or early next year, ended up being the latest that we could report was the 1st of October. And the earliest that we could report was the 1st of August.
So for those of you who are not familiar with the school system in Hawaii, they start school the first week of August.
So if school starts the first week of August, that meant we needed to be here as soon as possible in August, which meant that we had, from the time that we got word, roughly 2 months to put our house on the market.
The end of June were the official word, right? We get some kind of a verbal notification like, hey, this is going to happen.
We got the verbal notification in early May.
Right, but if any of you are familiar with the military, things could change. They could change at the last minute. So if they say, hey, you're going to go in May, and then come July, they're like, we changed our mind, you're staying, or you're going somewhere totally different. So, that is a reality that could also happen.
So we had to make a decision in May about putting the house on the market, regardless of whether or not we had orders. So we did that, and we put the house on the market. And literally the day after we got a contract on it, we got orders. Like, it was...
We couldn't have coordinated it any better.
Yeah, no, everything went really, and we didn't talk to pretty much anybody about this move because we were afraid that we would jinx it with some, like, I don't know, bad juju or whatever. So nobody knew we were moving
until we got official confirmation that it was a legit thing.
And even then, we didn't tell a lot of people that it was happening. Like, we just kind of just moved here and didn't say anything to anybody.
So the little backstory on that, for almost really shy of 10 years, we were in that house, which is pretty unheard of for a military family to stay in one place that long. Circumstances led us there. That was one of the good things that came out of that. But
we got to stay in one place for a while.
But keep in mind, for those of you who have been in a house that long, you pick up a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh!
And you have your routines, and you have your things that just come as natural as breathing, that all of a sudden you have to pick up and move. So consider going. It's not even, you can't drive down the road to Hawaii. Well, no, you can't. You can't do it. So
it's an island, dude.
Right? Yeah, it is. There's no roads here yet. So I have this theory that there's going to be eventually an underwater tunnel to and from Hawaii. That's probably like when my grandchildren are old. Anyway, so we after research and checking online to see what the housing market looked like, we knew we were going to get half the house for twice the price, which meant all that stuff we had that was filling our house in Washington, most of that had to go. So there was a lot of minimizing, and
we downsized.
Yes, we did.
We downsized a lot, and I still feel like we have downsizing to do, though I do feel like we've managed quite a bit. So all that to say, we now live in Hawaii, and we sold the house in Washington, and we bought a house in Hawaii, and this is our new home with our new couch. And it's been pretty great, actually.
Absolutely has.
Pretty great. It went really, really smoothly. It went really, really nicely. And my exchange student and her family are coming to visit us in July. Not at our house because there's like 8 of them. They're all coming.
Half the house.
Half the house. I only have one less bedroom, but the bedrooms are like half the size of the bedrooms that they were in. Yeah.
Everything is aloha sized.
Yeah, it's... you gotta love people to be this close with them.
You love them, you're close to them, and you don't want to spend all your time in the house, so it just needs to be big enough to be comfortable, and then go outside.
Yeah.
Be in the water, be in the sun.
Yeah, so that's the biggest life change, is that we now live in Hawaii in an entirely different house with a lot of different furniture, because we left most of our furniture. Most of our big furniture got
sold in Washington
before we left.
So if it would not have fit anywhere in here.
No, none of it would have fit. It would have been So here we are in Hawaii, and now we're living that Hawaii beach life, which is why my husband wanted me to show you the Turkish towels. So these are 100% cotton.
Turkish cotton.
Turkish cotton, made in Turkey.
Right, so boom.
And they are, they're sort of like, you know how there's like double knitting? These are like double woven. So there's 2 layers and they're woven together, and there's white on one side and fish on and purple on the other, but you can see how they're like double woven. So
these are designed to take to the beach, take to the bathhouse, take to kind of anywhere,
wherever,
the pool, anywhere.
We use them as blankets.
Yeah, and the more you wash them, the softer and more resilient they get. It's really weird combination. More absorbent as well. You could shake sand right off them. They're really they're kind of think of it like a technical blanket without any technical fabric involved. Right? It's a natural fabric that does technical things. So, and they're great for
He just
everything.
thought you guys would like to see them. You can get them online. I don't remember the website, but I'm sure that if you just plug in Turkish towel, he just likes to tell everybody about them because they're kind of a big deal. Them. No, they're amazing. They really are. We actually use them as just like cozy, like sometimes in the mornings here it gets down to 71, which feels really cold to us now because it's usually between 85 and 95, so 71 feels chilly.
We've made it. We have
it's
made
ridiculous.
it.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, so 71 feels a little chilly, and so on those days when it's a little chilly, we use those to kind of cover up because most of the time we're in shorts and tank tops or a t-shirt. So if it gets 20 degrees lower than it has been, then it feels cold.
But they roll up real small. You can throw them in a bag or backpack. Take them with you to the beach. Like they don't take up a whole lot of room. They're very, very, they're awesome. They're kind of like the perfect catch-all blanket or blanket or towel or whatever you want to do. You can use them as a wrap if you want.
Yeah.
They're not quite the...
And they come in all kinds of different patterns and colors.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes they're stripes, sometimes they're solid colors. They're endless options.
Yeah. So that's been a whole lot of life stuff. And our daughter is in a new high school and working almost constantly on theater, which is great. That's why she wanted to go to that high school. They do shows like 2 or 3 times a year. That's why we live in the location we do live, so that she can be close to that high school because they have a fabulous theater program. And then
she did her research and said, these are the places we can live when we move to Hawaii.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. And then our son goes to school. He actually is in walking distance. It's the first time we've been in walking distance to one of his schools. So he walks to school every day, which is great. It's actually just like a park path all the way there.
Yeah.
And my husband's working not too far away, 35-minute commute, depending on the time of the day. If it's during a specific time, it's like an hour commute.
If I leave between 6 and 6:45, it'll take me an hour. If I leave before or after that time period, it'll take me 30 minutes. It's aloha traffic.
Yeah. It's the traffic stage.
Everybody moves at one
pace.
One time. Yeah. Right, everybody has to go to work around the same time, so yeah.
So one of the reasons that Hawaii is a great place for us is they do actually have a hospital for me that has everything that I want and need. So the transition here was actually fairly smoothly. We're still kind of working out the kinks in the timing and stuff here. But for the most part, as soon as I got on island, one of the first things that we did was call the hospital and be like, okay, I'm your new patient. So most of my records transfer over. It's weird because the system that they're using at my old hospital is a new system that they're testing. So they don't have it here. They're using the old system. So they have all of my old records, but not a whole lot of my new records. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
And those systems don't talk directly to each other. There's actually a third mini system that links the two.
But it's not great.
It is what it is.
But I have all the medications I need. My doctors are on board with the treatment plan. Everything that I need is here. So yeah, it's been really good. What else? Life stuff. Oh, our exchange student graduated and went home in June. That was actually she went home July.
Yeah, right after July 4th.
That was really, really sad. But she's doing really well. She's in college. She's doing a communications degree. She just passed all of her semester exams. Mm-hmm. She's doing really well. She's such a good girl. I miss her so much. Okay. But she's going to come visit with her whole family, including her grandparents, which means I need to learn some Dutch. Because I don't think they speak English. Her grandparents. I think they speak Dutch.
It's possible.
And her mom struggles with English too. So we're going to have to work on some Dutch. I struggle
with English. So yeah, we'll have to figure out how the translation is going to work. The girl's probably going to have a lot of translation experience by the time she's done.
Yeah. It's okay. We love her. We'll learn Dutch for her. That's fine. And yeah. So.
I think that's it.
Oh, right. The Christmas tree. Please go get the Christmas tree.
Christmas is right over there.
Because it's actually easier to move the Christmas tree than it is to move the camera. So he's just going to bring me the Christmas tree. So usually we had what we called the cupcake tree, which was the white artificial tree with multicolored lights, and we would just put our really fun eclectic stuff on it. But now we have the beach Christmas tree. And this is it. And it just sits on a table in the corner, and we're just going to select a couple of ornaments from our ornament stash to put on it. But it's got some seashells on there now, and it came like that. But it's driftwood, painted, and then put on a dowel and put on a base with shells attached to it. And all of the shells are farmed shells. They're not out there. They're ethically sustainable farming shells. They're not
wild shells pulled out of the ecosystem here.
So, yeah.
Ta-da.
That's our Christmas tree. And it fits on
It fits in several places, but it just takes up a little bit of real estate. So if you're going to put it on a table, that's what that table is for until January or February.
Until we
decide where we're going to do with this once Christmas ends.
We'll find a box for it and put it in the...
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I don't think there's any other life stuff to talk about. It's mostly just getting situated in our new home. My craft room is still not up and running. I am still finding stuff and figuring out where stuff goes. And deciding what stays in our life. I think we're still downsizing little bit by little bit here, figuring out what's going to work going forward. But it's been one of the smoothest transitions we've ever done, as well as one of the most stressful. I think it was more stressful for me because I have a tendency to try to control every little aspect of everything, and I can't do that. I can't control everything. I know. It's shocking.
Like the planes that are flying overhead.
Hopefully the microphone is making it so you can't hear them.
Or it's working so well that you can hear people on the airplane talking, having conversations about...
I'm not redoing this video, so if there's airplane noises, I'm really sorry. I'm not a traffic controller. I can't make it stop so that I can do a podcast. But
we live near 2 airports.
Yeah, we live
on
near
an island.
2 airports on an island. Like, there's nothing I can do about airplane noises. They would be everywhere. The only place to not have them is to live in Kailua, and I can't afford to live in Kailua, so I can afford to live where we live. Yet.
One day, maybe.
Possibly.
It's on the list.
I don't know. I think that's all I have for you guys. So, we'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for putting up with him. And I'll see you guys next time. And until then, happy knitting. Love you guys. Bye.
Aloha.
Oh my gosh, me clearing my throat today is killing me.
Actually, it's probably keeping you alive.
No, it's actually just, can I ask you to go get my hair?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
There's one there.
That's the wrong one.
That's not there.
The other one is upstairs. I'd like to be able to breathe. It's the non-asthmatic use in a